Hi everybody, my name is Jim and welcome back to another episode of The Lake Effect Gardener. In my last video, I talked about which vegetable seeds that I was going to be growing for the year. And along with that, I mentioned that I was going to be also growing or making a video about which flowers I was going to be growing, but I was waiting for some seed to come in the mail before I made this video. This is not just going to be about flower gardening. It's also, well, not flower gardening, but what I'm planting in the way of flowers. But I thought I would take a different direction with it as well, because over the past month and a half or so, I've kind of fallen into a rabbit hole when it comes to Tasha Tudor. And I don't know if you guys know who Tasha Tudor is. If you're from the UK, she's kind of the Beatrix Potter of America. They lived during the same time. Beatrix Potter was around a little bit before Tasha Tudor, but Tasha Tudor was a very interesting person. She was a watercolorist and she made most of her money doing that. And she basically lived her life as though it were the 1830s. She was a very, very interesting woman, did everything the old-fashioned way. I can identify with that on so many levels. So I fell down the rabbit hole and I got myself some books and stuff like that. And I know that my mother had always been a fan. I hadn't realized how much of a fan she was of Tasha Tudor until I made a couple of purchases. And one of the purchases that I made were these 3 books. And I did post these on Instagram, I think. Maybe it was Facebook and Instagram. I can't remember. But the first one that I got from the store was Tasha Tudor's Garden. So you can see, I don't know if you can see it very well, but you can see the way she's dressed. She dressed like that constantly. So this is a wonderful book. Great pictures. Look at that. Look at that. And she had marvelous, marvelous gardens at her house in Vermont. Just absolutely gorgeous. We'll be coming back to that in a moment. Also, I'm going to find some room over here. Tasha Tudor's Heirloom Crafts. So up my speed, right? My goodness. Look at her. She's quilting next to the fireplace. Ugh. My goodness. Again, wonderful, wonderful pictures. Here's a picture of her weaving a basket. She knew how to do everything the old-fashioned way. And I totally identify with that. And then, last but not least, the private world of Tasha Tudor. And this goes into her life. It talks about, you know, where she came from, how she grew up, and then how she transitioned into the lifestyle that she ended up living. But yeah, I mean, I could spend hours on these books alone. They're so interesting. They're very, very well written, and the photography and the artwork are outstanding. So if you ever get a chance to look at any of these books, please do so, okay? I'm sure you can find copies on Amazon or maybe even, you know, at a charity shop or something like that. So wonderful. So I showed my mom these books and she was like, I wish you hadn't bought those because I have them. Of course she did. I don't know why I didn't think she would. But then she told me to go look at her collection. She has like every book, artwork, whatever that Tasha Tudor has done. Absolutely incredible. The first book she has is from like the early 40s when it was given to her by my grandmother, who also liked Tasha Tudor, and absolutely incredible first edition, you know, books. And my mom actually sent that book, or it was another book, I'm not sure which one it was, to her, and Tasha Tudor signed it for her, which is awesome. Along with that, my mom gave me this book. old-fashioned gifts. There's a cookbook. There's all sorts of wonderful stuff. And I went thumbing through here, and it's wonderful. There's just simple little like toys that you can make. You know, there's just, you can make these paper lined, not lined, paper covered baskets and things like that. Well, I was going through and I was like noticing that, oh, and there's recipes too that I'm dying to try. There was a wonderful, of course I stopped here because it was knitting pattern. Oh, I was so excited. I was like, I stopped and I was like, oh my gosh. And she's got all sorts of, so this one is pattern mittens for children. And then she did a couple other ones as well. All right, these are mittens, and they're all pretty much, for the most part, designed for younger children. Well, I wasn't having any of that. I loved the pattern so much that I just knocked all of the measurements up. I used a worsted weight yarn. I used larger needles. I didn't have to change any of the design per se. And I made myself a pair. And they're wonderful. I made them extra long to keep my wrists nice and warm. And they're wonderful. They are wonderful. I've gotten a lot of compliments on them. And then I say, oh, it's a Tasha Tudor pattern. And people are like, who? I'm like, peasants. But look at these. So cozy. And I love, love, love the design. Wonderful. So yes, I just love Tasha Tudor stuff so much. So let me segue into what I was originally going to talk about, which was flower seeds. So they have online, TashaTudorFamily.com, I believe is the name of the website. I started following all of her pages on Facebook and Instagram that her family started for her. Obviously, she didn't start those. I think she had already passed away at that point. But her kids kind of set up this foundation where they keep the memory and the land and the dogs and everything else, keeping it going. Very similar to what they did for Beatrix Potter. So I went online and they sell seeds. I was so excited to see this. And I did see another YouTube video made a year ago. This woman purchased the seeds and she was talking about them, etc., etc. So this was after I had ordered mine, and apparently they go like hotcakes. So they said basically the seeds will go live at this time, and then I was just like, and I got as many as I could. So let me show you what varieties I have here. And this is very, very cool because all of these are saved seed from her garden. These are all heirloom varieties that she has kept going for years and years and years. A lot of these were her great-grandfather's seeds, so you can imagine how old the seed is. So I got a Myosotis sylvatica. It's just forget-me-nots. There we go. Okay, these easily go to seed. Once they're planted in, they're there. You know what I mean? I got some Aquilegia, the columbines. These are going to be beautiful. I've never grown columbines before. I've always wanted to, never have. Lettuce poppy is the next one. Okay, a Papaver somniferum. Okay, and look at all of her adorable little artwork on the front of it. Do you love that? Adorable. Sweet Rocket, which I think everyone knows as stock, evening stock. Okay, and I've grown evening stock before. It's lovely. I just love that these seeds are as old as they are. I'm going to be planting a portion of Tasha Tudor's legacy right here at the cottage. How exciting is that? Hollyhocks. Okay, look at the adorable artwork. Lupins. Now this was a big one at her place. She used to have she had a very long driveway that went out to the road, and she would literally every year just take all of her saved lupin seed and just broadcast it along the roadside, and it would grow these huge swaths of lupins every single year. So this was from her collection. And then we have a foxglove, okay, which I've never had really good luck with, but I'm hoping that I'll have some good luck with it this year. I love how at the bottom of the seed levels, they tell you the level of growing difficulty, what color the flower is. And for foxglove, it says the level is undermanding. That's right up my alley. Flower is rose or white colors. And then the last thing is Sweet Sicily, okay? And this is garden myrrh. All right, level is intensive. Flowers are white umbels. Very nice. It likes cool, damp areas with rich soil. Well, I definitely have the damp well underway back there. Along with that, I also made a little guilty purchase for myself, but I couldn't help it. Here is a tin of Tasha Tudor's Welsh breakfast tea. Oh my goodness, I haven't even opened this yet. Oh, look at the packaging. My goodness. Now, this was a tea that was specifically made for her. Let's see. The tea is remarkable in that the brew is robust, yet delicate at the same time. Yes, yes, yes. And it gives you brewing instructions. Yeah. So this was what she drank every single day. So hoping it gives me some good mojo back there. All right. So that's my little Tasha Tudor little journey. And I'm doing more research and I'm collecting more information and I want to know more about her life. I mean, she had no electricity. She lived off the well. She had goats and goats and chickens, and her favorite dog was the corgi. Okay, so there's your little Welsh connection as well. You'll find that she has corgis in a lot of her artwork. So yes, I'm going to have my own little Tasha Tudor flower garden this year. I don't know where it's going to be yet, but I'm so excited. Along with those, I've gotten some more flower seed that, besides what I attempt to grow, which is Nicotiana. This is your, whatchamacallit? Yeah, flowering tobacco. Okay, sensation mixed. So I'm going for the scent. I have really had success growing this 1 year, and it was when I was still living at my parents' house. A long time ago. I had these big terracotta pots on either side of the garage door, and I just threw some seed in there, and they grew huge, and they smelled amazing. Haven't had luck with them since. I'm going to hopefully change that this year. Nasturtium. I've got so much nasturtium seed, but I really like this variety. Alaska mix. I like the color. It kind of reminds me of the calendula that I showed you in the last video. Love in a Mist, otherwise known as Nigella. Okay, and this is Miss Jekyll. Okay. I've grown this a few times. It looks lovely. And then I'm going to give a go to sweet peas again. I used to grow them all the time, and I just stopped for no good reason. So a lot of old-fashioned flowers. I want to do as many flowers this year as possible to get those pollinators to come into the garden and to take care of you know, what I have in the way of pollinating my vegetables. Also, I was watching Jerry Landers from Hop Along Hollow. She's a fabulous YouTube video maker. I love watching her videos. She's very much colonial, early America type of kind of, her house is designed that way, and her gardens are very rustic and just I just love it. She also does a lot of stuff with Tasha Tudor and Beatrix Potter, and yeah, very interesting woman. But she was talking about her flower gardens, and she had purchased a big old sack of flowers from this. She has an online store called Starfish Honey, and I got that in the mail. Cute little pouch, and inside I got quite a bit. of flower seed, and this is called Not Your Grandmother's Garden Mix, okay? Starfish honey is known for her love of poppies, so this is a very poppy heavy mix. And we have Hungarian Ribena poppy, there's larkspur, mammoth field sunflower, red sunflower, bachelor's buttons, painted daisy, Shirley poppy, cosmos, corn poppy, bishop's flower, Belgian blue flax, baby's breath, forget-me-nots, black swan poppy, super mammoth poppy, and coriander. Interesting mix. So in my beds that are closest to the brick path, I'm gonna make them over, and I'm gonna just plant this. It's gonna be great for cutting flowers. I will be adding zinnias to that as well. I grow zinnias every year, absolutely love them. Maybe I'll do some dahlias, but problem with dahlias is that I have to dig them up, and it's a pain. It's I have nowhere to store them. It's very, very frustrating. And if I do store them, they get nibbled or they'll just rot. I'm like, they're beautiful and I love it, but it's like, I could grow them as an annual, but the idea of being able to dig them up and grow them every single year and make them bigger and bigger and bigger, I wish I could do that, but I just can't. So where am I going to put all these? That's going to be determined. To be determined. There's that big, huge area in back that I had made for all my winter squash that didn't do anything. So that huge raised bed could easily be all flowers. Even the one where the bed in between that and the Nebraska bed, that could also be turned over for flowers. I don't know. I have to really sit down and think about how I'm going to be doing this. And then I got to take the greenhouse out. That could be a good place for flowers because of the amount of sun that it gets. I have to think long and hard about it. So that's what I'm going to be doing for flowers this year. And I want to just say that it was Tasha Tudor and her books and her website was a real inspiration when it comes to what I'm going to be growing. And if I can grow this and save the seed yearly, or just let it do its thing, okay, that'd be fabulous. Just to have this growing every single year, it'd be wonderful. So that's my flower seed video. It's still miserable outside, so I'm not going to be doing much of anything out there anytime soon. And remember, after winter comes mud. And again, nothing. There's nothing I can really do. I could clean out the shed. The shed needs it badly. I can take down the greenhouse as long as I wear my wellies. There's stuff to do, but, you know, it's just being able to have a nice day to do it. That's the problem. So yes, I'm going to get my garden journal up and running. I have to sow some more seeds. I've got to get things underway. Spring will be here before you know it. That's so exciting. Anywho, that's it for me. I hope you're all doing well. And I don't know what my next video is going to be. It's going to be in the hands of Providence at this point. But I'll be back nonetheless. Hopefully give you something that you can enjoy. Keep you tying over, what's the word? I don't know. Keep you satiated until I can actually get into the garden, actually start growing things. So we'll see. All right, I'm going to say goodbye now. Goodbye. So long.